So I've been doing weekly reviews on WandaVision since it came out, but with this video I want to discuss the entire season, the entire series, all 9 episodes of WandaVision from Disney Plus, and I want to go into, does the series work as a whole? Like, not episode by episode, no speculation here, just did WandaVision as a series work as a whole, or was it a big disappointment? Okay, first of all, if you have not seen WandaVision yet, I would highly advise you to go watch it on Disney Plus. It is on there now, all 9 episodes, because we're going to talk about some spoilers here as we go through this review of the entire season of WandaVision. So, looking back at WandaVision, was it a waste of time? Honestly, I don't think it was, because I actually enjoyed the mystery aspect of it. The show had this sort of, especially early on, this Twin Peaks, Erie, Indiana vibe, where even though it was doing these sitcom parodies, and I grew up watching sitcoms, and many of them are cringe looking back, but the show managed to kind of make fun of that cringe in a funny way, and it was done very well. But looking back on it, I can understand why some people wouldn't really appreciate it that much. I appreciate it because of the little details. For example, the laugh track, the fact that it was in 4:3 aspect ratio and then it would change 16:9, the mystery of the B-Man, and how much fun we all had kind of speculating on what was going on. That was always cool to me, and then we find out in episode 4 when everything unravels what's actually going on. But the sitcom mystery continued, and it went on and on and on from there. So I did appreciate kind of watching it early on, trying to figure out what was going on, and then seeing sort of the juxtaposition, the comparison between the Westview world that she created, like the fake hex that she created, and the real world, and how they were trying to go in there and, help her and save her. And then, of course, there's some great moments, like when Vision almost gets out. That's a great moment when Monica Rambeau goes in. Just the reveal of Darcy Lewis, the whole episode with Sword, the fact that that emotional episode with Wanda when she went into the Sword facility to see Vision just being pulled apart and her reacting to that, and the idea that she stole Vision from them, which was not true. That was a really good twist. There was a lot of really good twists here. There was also a lot of fan speculation. Now, in my review for episode 9, I discussed that fans have to be real careful with getting their hopes up. There was all kinds of theories about Grim Reaper appearing, Doctor Strange appearing, Mephisto, all this crap. And I had a feeling Strange would appear. That's the one guy who I thought would appear in episode 9. He did not. There was all kinds of theories about Charles Xavier and X-Men coming in and this and that. And you have to really quell your expectations, because when you build something up in your own head and it doesn't get paid off, you can't really be too upset. Now, there is one thing to be upset about, okay? I will talk about this here in a moment. But when I say upset, it doesn't mean that you automatically disband on the MCU or you just start throwing furniture in your house. It ain't that serious, bro. And that is the way they manipulated the audience by using Quicksilver. That was a manipulation. We find out in episode 9 that Quicksilver was just this Ralph dude, and that he wasn't at all related to the X-Men universe, and that Evan Peters is playing a character that exists in the MCU but not as Quicksilver. That, to me, again, I want to sit back and say, well, maybe later on that might get paid off. We might get the X-Men in a different context. Maybe, for all we know, Agatha might actually have contact with another universe, with the multiverse, and maybe that will lead to, that happening, because now people are probably wondering, well, does that mean that Tobey Maguire is going to play a different character in the Spider-Man movie? And I don't think that's the case. I really don't. But I can tell you that if Tobey Maguire is not playing Peter Parker, it's going to be a huge letdown for a lot of fans. I mean, a huge disappointment for a lot of fans. Probably even more than Quicksilver. Because I think with Quicksilver, people thought it was going to be a secret reveal at some point that the X-Men universe does exist in the MCU multiverse, and that since Disney owns Fox now, and that it validates the X-Men movies a bit more, and that maybe they could at some point do a crossover and make tons of money on it, which they might still be able to do, right? But I thought that was a bit of a bait and switch, honestly. I think that people thought legit there was going to be an actual multiversal gimmick going on, and they didn't get that. And so that, to me, you are trolling your audience. Also, the fact that they were saying that the finale would have a Luke Skywalker level event. That was not said in the series. That was something said on the internet. And if you're one of those people who don't follow the news and don't keep up with the inside, like movie channels and all that stuff, you wouldn't have any idea what they're talking about. But apparently somebody, I forget who it was, said that the finale would have a Luke Skywalker level cameo. I think it was John Campea who said that. And that was wrong. There was no Luke Skywalker level cameo. White Vision is not Luke Skywalker level. I'm sorry, but he's not. And Wanda using the book at the end was cool, but that's not Luke Skywalker level. None of it was. None of this was at the level of Luke Skywalker and Mandalorian. Okay, so that was a huge, huge dick tickler. That was a huge dick tickler. And I can't blame fans for being upset at that, even though it was never hinted at in the show. It was just talked about outside of it. But it seems like a bullshit gimmick to get folks to watch the entire show for that big moment, right? That's what it seems like to me, and that's not fair, because as far as whether or not this show worked as a whole season, it depends on what you were looking for. If you were looking for more multiverse stuff and things that would tie into Doctor Strange, you didn't get that. You got possibly Agatha being in that film, maybe White Vision, maybe Wanda will be in that movie as now the Scarlet Witch. But besides that, what you got with WandaVision was development of Wanda's character. You got an evolution of her character going into Phase 4. You got the creation of White Vision. You got the reveal of S.W.O.R.D. being involved now. And you got Monica Rambeau being introduced. So they did do a lot of things as far as introducing new characters and evolving current ones that are going to play into future MCU films. So you can't complain about the show not being, not doing its job, because it did do its job with that right there. We have teasers for Secret Invasion in the post-credit scene or mid-credit scene. There's all kinds of things they did. They were able to utilize Jimmy Woo and Darcy pretty well. The Agatha thing was cool. I did enjoy WandaVision. However, would I ever go back and watch the entire series again? Honestly, I probably will not. It's not like going back and watching The Avengers or watching Guardians of the Galaxy or one of these movies that's just a 2-hour movie. I can sit there and watch it and be done with it. With this movie, or a 3-hour movie in some cases, with this show, you got 9 30-plus minute episodes, and they were fun. Don't get me wrong, they were fun while watching them, but unless I'm introducing somebody else to the series, or if I'm watching it with like a girl, or with, a friend or something like that, and they want to watch it from start to finish, I'll do that with them, because that could be fun to watch it with somebody else to kind of see if they don't know what's going on, they can figure it out. That's always fun, to watch something that you're familiar with somebody who's not, to see their reaction to the twists. But as far as me ever watching it on my own again for my own entertainment, you know what I mean? I'm not doing that. This is not like Breaking Bad. This is not even like, Daredevil. Daredevil's a good example. Daredevil's the Netflix Daredevil. You can watch that show 100 times over again, and it's fun every time. But maybe not 100, but you get what I'm saying, right? But this, to me, it's a one and done for me. I'm not going to watch this show ever again unless I see it with somebody else. So, was it effective in what it did for Wanda's character? Yes. Was it, very emotional at the end, very touching? Yes. Did it help bring in the MCU and evolve the powers of the Scarlet Witch? Yes. Is it something that's replayable and rewatchable? Not for me. Not for me. I had fun watching it, but it just was not for me. Does that mean that it's a disappointment? Honestly, I think it's a slight disappointment. Not a complete disappointment, don't get me wrong. But as a whole, if we were to judge this entire thing as one big story, it was a bit of a disappointment. But there were a lot of fun moments to be had, and as you're involved in the mystery aspect of it, it was fun. But I don't think the payoffs were ultimately that amazing to where they're worth going back to. Let's not forget that me and many of you predicted a lot of the events of this show and what was going on with Wanda a year ago. You know what I mean? It wasn't that hard to figure out. So to me, again, fun show, not a bad show. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're here because it's a spoiler review, but if you haven't seen it, or if you know somebody who has not seen it, tell them to watch it. But it really is a one and done for me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to watch it ever again. But it was fun. So that's all I can really say about it. We'll see if Falcon and Bucky have a bit better run, and maybe they'll have more action, in that case, maybe it'll be worth watching that again. Those are going to be apparently hour-long episodes, so it'll feel more like movies, so that's going to be interesting. Anyways, what did you think about WandaVision as a whole? Not episode 9, not episode 8, the entirety of the series. Do you agree with me? And if not, leave a comment. Let's see what y'all say. I'm curious, and I'll talk to y'all soon.